Hello everybody! Today we're starting our next unit on similarity, similar polygons, similar triangle shortcuts, and so forth. So this is directly related to proportions and ratios. So here's the definition of similar polygons that you should add to your vocab list. Two polygons are similar if and only if all corresponding angles are congruent and all corresponding sides are proportional. So let's say we have a quad, and I'll just make up some numbers here. Let's see, 150, 250. Let's make that 60. And then we'll call this one 80. There. I know it's not to scale, but we'll just go with it. And then we'll have a similar one. So a little bit smaller. And you know, like when you're working with pictures and so you have a picture and then you grab the corner, the bottom right corner, and then stretch, and everything stays the same shape, just a different size. Those are similar figures. So it's a stretch, but nothing's distorted. So the angles stay the same, and then the sides, let's say we have 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 12, and then we have, I'm stretching this bigger actually, and then let's say 1.5. So this picture here is bigger, and what you have to look at is that everything is in a proportion. So you figure out which parts correspond to which parts. So let's see. We have 8 to 12. So I'm going to say 12 to 8, 9 to 6, so that's here, 3 to 2, and 1.5 to 1. And we want to know, are they the same ratio? So you can just divide them. 12 divided by 8 is 1.5. 9 divided by 6 is 1.5. 1.5, 1.5. That's the scale factor. That's the equal ratio, 1.5 to 1. So if I said, are these similar or not, you check, are the corresponding angles congruent? And then are the corresponding sides in the same proportion? So we'll look at some examples here. State whether the polygons are similar. And in today's exercises, you're going to click yes or no, Y or N. So let's look. Okay, these are rectangles, equiangular parallelograms. And it turns out, so the angles, corresponding angles are congruent. Now let's look at the sides. So I'm going to match up corresponding pieces, 35 to 18, and then we have 25 to 15. So now you're going to divide those. So this is, So this is 1.94 with the 4 repeating. And it should be exact, and this is 1.6 repeating. So no, not similar. And the way we write this, if these had letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, you would say A, B, C, D is not similar to E, F, G, H. Okay? So similar is just that squiggly part. So then number 2, corresponding angles are congruent, so that's good. See, if they're not, then immediately they're not similar figures. And now let's see, 35 to 21. And the big number doesn't always have to go on top. 18 to 10.8, and then 20 to 12. So let's divide those. 1.6 repeating. 1.6 repeating, and 1.6 repeating. So yes, they are similar. And then you could say something like ABCD is similar to EFGH if they're labeled. And it works the same way as congruents. You put them in order of corresponding parts. Okay, go ahead, try 3 and 4, pause the video, and then press play when you're ready to check. Okay, so corresponding angles are congruent. Good. And now let's check the sides. Let's do 12 to 30, 4.8 to 12, and then 8 to 20. Make sure the corresponding parts line up. 0.4, 0.4, and 0.4. Yes, sides are proportional, so it is similar. And then number 4, the corresponding angles are congruent, and then we'll check the sides. 16 goes to the 20. Be careful, it's rotated. And 24 goes to the 25. The bigger side goes to the bigger side, smaller to the smaller. So 16 divided by 20 is 0.8. 24 divided by 25 is 0.96. Not similar. Now we're going to look at examples where you're given that the polygons are similar. So once you know they're similar, the corresponding angles are congruent and the sides are proportional. So we're going to find the missing side length. So let's see. So in these kites, this 4 corresponds to the 8, and the question mark corresponds to the 14. So then question mark, you can use cross multiplication. In this case, you can just see the 4 is half of the 8. So question mark equals 7. It's half. Okay, and then 10, this is rotated. Again, they're similar. So we know the sides have to be in proportion. If you're not told that they're proportional, if you're not told they're similar, then you can't assume they're proportional. Okay, so the 28 corresponds to the 35. The 12 corresponds to the question mark. So now we can use cross multiplication or any other math arithmetic that will help you. So it'll be 35 times 12 is 420 equals 28 times the question mark. So then 420 divided by 28 is 15. Okay, go ahead, try 11 and 12. All right, 11. So here, so you have the 7. The 7 is going to correspond to the 14 because it's the shorter side. I know you're not really supposed to assume that, but in these worksheets, that's what you have to do. So the 7 goes to the 14. Therefore, the question mark, make sure the question mark lines with the 7 there as well. Question mark goes to 16. So 7 times 16 divided by 14 is 8. And then 12. So let's see. So this is, you have to see what goes with what. So the 36 goes with the 30. Okay. Now where does the question mark go? The question mark goes to the 25. And we don't need the other piece, the 18 and the 15, because those are already in proportion because you were told that they're similar. Now, in some problems, what it'll say is something like A, B, C, D, and then it'll say A, A, B, C, D. And then it would say which, or something like this, A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. And then it would say that they're similar, so you know which parts correspond. So 25 times 36 divided by 30 gives you question mark equals 30. Okay? And then one last page here, solving for x. So again, we're told they're similar polygons, so the angles are congruent, sides are proportional. So let's say 24 corresponds with which side? Oh, 40. And then the x plus 5 has to go on top, so it's with the 24, and that corresponds with 20. Now, you can cross multiply. There's other ways. I'm just going to show you the cross multiplying method. So cross multiply 480 equals, now be careful, 40 parentheses x plus 5. So then distributive property. You could also divide by the 40 first if you prefer. Okay, then minus 200 to both sides. And then 280 divided by 40 is equal to 7. So the x would equal 7. That side length would be 7 plus 5 is 12. But it only asks for x. Okay, and we'll do 14, and then I'll have you try 15 and 16. Okay, so let's see. The 12 corresponds to the 6. The 2x minus 4 corresponds to the 8. Cross multiply. My people who like algebra will probably like this section. So add 24 to both sides. 120 equals 12x. Divide both sides by 12, x equals 10. Go ahead and try 15 and 16. Pause the video. Okay, well, let's see how to do this. So the 15 corresponds to the 18, and then the 35 corresponds to the 3x plus 15. Cross multiply. 18 times 35 is 630 equals 15 parentheses 3x plus 15. Cross multiply. 15 times 15 is 225. Subtract 225 to both sides. .405 divided by 45, 9. So x equals 9. And then we'll go to this last one. Here, I'll just change the color since we're running out of space. So the 21 corresponds to the 35, and the 6 plus x corresponds to the 20. Cross multiply. 21 times 20 is 420 equals, distribute, 35 times 6 is 210. Oh, what am I doing? X, whoops, plus 35x, subtract 210 to both sides, 210 equals 35x, 210 divided by 35, x equals 6. There you go. So you'll have practice similar to this. As always, email if you have any questions. Have a great day. Take care.